I felt like there was not enough rom or com or sci-fi really in this rom-com sci-fi film. Hey there, it's Kristen, and today I am so excited to be talking about my experience doing Toronto International Film Festival from home. I got accredited to cover the film festival and was also part of their media inclusion initiative, which was really awesome. I got to participate in a lot of panels and in their newsletter and got featured on their social media, so that was really exciting. And today I'm going to be ranking the films that I saw from worst to best, and I gotta say, I was so impressed, especially by the young actors in the films that I saw. There were so many incredible performances and just people that you really need to keep your eye out on, people that I think are going to be rising stars in the future. Without further ado, consider subscribing if you like my videos, and drop down in the comments and let me know if you're excited about any of these films and what you think. Let's start off with Mothering Sunday. This is a film about a maid who sneaks off to spend quality time with her secret lover, a man who's engaged to another woman. It stars Odessa Young, Josh O'Connor, Olivia Colman, Colin Firth. There's a lot of big names in this, and I have to say this film was beautifully shot. Odessa Young is such a captivating actress, but overall I found this one really disappointing. The story and the characters lacked any real connection or chemistry, and I think they just had a lot of names that they just didn't utilize to their full potential. Next up is Dear Evan Hansen. You guys know that I'm a huge musical theater nerd, so I was very excited about this. I have not actually seen the Broadway show, and after seeing this movie, I don't know if I really want to. I have to be honest, I didn't believe Ben Platt in his performance. I also didn't find his character sympathetic in any way. But what it really comes down to is the story of Dear Evan Hansen is so problematic and steeped in white privilege. There is no real consequences for any of the things that go on, and I found that really disappointing. While the music is beautiful, I just cannot recommend this one. Then there's You Are Not My Mother, which is a slow burn, sort of Irish folk horror film that parallels with mental health and mental illness. I think there were a lot of interesting aspects of this film, but overall I just wish that they had gone further with this. I think a lot of that just had to do with it being a very small budget. Next up is I'm Your Man, which is going to be Germany's international Oscar selection, which is really cool. This film is a sci-fi love story between a woman and a robot, and I gotta say, Dan Stevens really impressed as a German-speaking robot. I had no idea that he could speak so many languages, so kudos to him. But I found the woman that we were following to be kind of unlikable. I felt like there was not enough rom or com or sci-fi really in this rom-com sci-fi film. This was just a cool concept where they didn't really add anything to the genre. The Other Tom is a film that follows a young mother trying to get help for her son who has ADHD. There's a lot of messages on the dangers of over-medication and over-medicating specifically young people, and the side effects of that. And while I thought this was a compelling story, I will say that it was very inconsistent in both the storytelling and the acting. I mean, both of the lead actors for this are newcomers, have never acted before, and I felt like you could really tell that. Next up, we've got to talk about A Banquet, which is a nightmarish story of a daughter convinced her body has become a vessel for a higher power. It balances these really stylish and also grotesque culinary visuals. It dives into this idea of eating disorders and otherworldly experiences. It's very dark, it's very fascinating. You know, I think the end kind of gives you a lot to think about. It's kind of up for interpretation, but I gotta say, Jessica Alexander, I also saw her in Glass House at Fantasia Film Festival, and she is phenomenal. She is just very compelling and committed in whatever role she's playing, so definitely keep an eye on her. We gotta talk about Encounter, which is coming very soon to Amazon Prime, starring Riz Ahmed. This is a story of a very engaging and heart-pounding father-son's road trip, where this father is trying to save his sons from these alien bugs. I thought it had a really strong start, but sort of loses its way in its final act. I felt like it didn't know what it really wanted to be in terms of, are we dealing with a sci-fi situation or are these more inner demons? But I will say the young actors who played Riz Ahmed's sons, Lucien River Chauhan and Aditya Gedada, stole this film. They were so good, I really believed them. Next up is The Guilty, starring Jake Gyllenhaal, which is a remake coming to Netflix. This is about a troubled police officer who's now on operator duty, and he kind of gets wrapped up in a situation. I haven't seen the original film, but I did think that this remake was very enthralling and really hooked you in as a viewer, which I thought was really impressive for a single location thriller movie. We gotta talk about Petite Maman by Celine Sciamma. She had so much acclaim after Portrait of a Lady on Fire, and I think that this film is also so brilliant and so beautifully done. It's a very simple story about childhood and loss and grief and connection, but through a little bit of like a spectral lens. And I thought that there were really lovely performances by Josephine and Gabrielle Sands, who lead this film. I'm gonna throw in a short film that you cannot miss out on, which is SYED Family Xmas Eve Game Night. It's so funny and heartfelt and heartwarming just to see a queer brown family at the center of a Christmas story, which we don't always get to see. And finally, Scarborough was my favorite film of the festival. You cannot miss this one. It gives a look into the underprivileged community in Toronto, and again, the young actors here absolutely killed it. Liam Diaz, Essence Fox, and Anna Claire Bettel were so well cast and just give such an authentic performance that you really, really don't want to miss this one. And I'm gonna keep my eye out for literally all of the kids that I've mentioned in this video because all of them were so incredible. If you like this one, you can check out more of my Toronto International Film Festival coverage right over here, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.